Hey there, let's discuss the Galapagos and all the options that we can do here. I specialize in the islands since 2006, and I work with many yachts, hotels, and all kinds of different wonderful adventures. So I would love to help you find the one that fits your family. So whenever someone requests the Galapagos, they kind of give me a window of dates, how many people are traveling, and I get to work. So this particular example that I'm going to share my screen with is for a family of three for July. So let's go into some of the options that are available. I'm going to share my screen and you should be able to see the quick drafts and just so we can talk about the different options. So the first option is Quito, because you will always need to go to the mainland before you go to the Galapagos. And then you would fly to Galapagos for 7 nights and cruise on the luxury yacht called the Infinity. Why would we choose the Infinity? It is amazing, very spacious cabins. Every cabin has a balcony and it has 20 people on board, which means that there are two naturalist guides on board, which means they split the group into 10 and 10, making it some of the smallest groups in the islands, which is very exciting. Most groups will have 16 people every time you go to the site. So the trip would look like this. For this particular boat, for July, for three people, of course, we can alter the dates anytime you'd like, but this is what I suggest. So you would arrive to Quito and spend 3 nights in Quito. Why? Because Quito is in the Andes. It has amazing sights all around it. Not only is the city colorful, historic, lots to explore between museums and the gondola ride. It's surrounded by volcanoes, beautiful cathedral and things like that. Food is amazing. One of the best restaurants in the South American continent is here, but also it has beautiful markets like Otavalo to the north, which is the largest one in South America, or Cotopaxi National Park to the south, where we can meet some local ranchers. We can go horseback riding, hiking to colorful lagoons. So there's lots to see and do in Quito, and I highly suggest you always spend at least 2 nights here because it's worth it and it really will elevate your experience in Ecuador before the Galapagos. So I love Plaza Grande. It's a great hotel in the main square, so it's very well located for eating out and exploring. So the first day you arrive, we always arrange your transportation to get you to the hotel. If there's three people, we can do a triple room. We can do a double and a single, up to you. And then the next day, we will see the best of Quito, the Equator Line, go to a chocolate experience, see the highlights of Quito with your private guide, have a beautiful lunch. And then the following day, we go either north to Otavalo or south to Cotopaxi. It's up to you. We will discuss what works for you. It's a private tour at your pace. If you love indigenous communities, if you love markets, if you're a photographer, Otavalo is wonderful. If you love cooking, we can also include an amazing indigenous kitchen experience where you go and cook with a local chef and have lunch there, or we can have lunch in a restaurant. But if you love the outdoors, if you are fascinated by volcanoes and the Andes, then we can head south to Cotopaxi National Park. And there we can spend some time at a ranch, have a traditional Ecuadorian meal there, go horseback riding if you'd like, go hiking if you'd like, go on the lava if you'd like. There are so many different things we can do here, of course. En route to Cotopaxi, you will visit you will pass indigenous communities and markets as well. So a great day taking you out of the city. And then off to the Galapagos we go. So in the Galapagos, every cruise has different itineraries. There are 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, 6 nights, 7 nights. So lots to choose from and think about. Every itinerary is pre-planned about 2 years in advance by the government. This is a very protected area. And every itinerary is a little bit different. Is there a bad itinerary? No, because every island is so different, has different colonies of animals and birds, has different adventures for you to enjoy, has white sand beaches, black sand beaches, red sand beaches. You can snorkel, you can swim, you can go to the beach, you can climb on lava, and you can do soft sand hiking, and so on and so on. So the itinerary that you choose really should be based on the boat that suits you best and really should be around how many dates you can be there. which dates suit you best. Don't really go by the itinerary themselves. And for these options that I'm sharing with you today, I put a little map of the islands that the cruise will go to on these particular four options that I'm sending you, but never go by the itinerary because the Galapagos is a thriving, live kind of museum. And if there's anything happening, like an animal is acting odd or there's some distress that the scientists see in the wildlife, they will close that site or that island completely and the boat will go somewhere else. So if you have your heart set on a specific site, put that as you're lucky to get there, but don't ever go by it because it might change. And that's the beauty and the surprise of the Galapagos. But truly, I have been many times and there is not one bad site or island to visit. So this particular boat will go for 7 nights. Every day you get off 2 or 3 times to go hiking, go visit sites, see colonies, or go to the water activities. Every day you will have opportunities to get into the water. What makes boats different? Something like the Infinity, which is luxury, which is brand new, which is built specifically for the islands. It means that it goes faster, it's smoother, it's quieter. The newer the boat, the quieter and smoother because they are way more ecologically friendly now. And also, when it's a faster boat, you're spending less time traveling between the islands and more time on the islands. So some of the older boats, some of the budget boats, they're older, they're slower. You're spending a lot more time on water traveling, and maybe the visits are shorter. So just keep that in mind. Just because something's cheaper, it does not mean that it will be the same experience. You're not just paying less for maybe a budget boat, but for the experience altogether. Now, guide-wise, all the guides go through the whole same process. So whatever boat you choose, it will be the same style of guiding and experience and passion. The guides really are the best part of the trip. Of course, luxury boats will have top chefs on board, amazing food, special touches and gifts for you and things like that. So of course, that's always a wonderful experience. When can you travel to the Galapagos? It is a year-round experience. The only thing that changes is the temperature of the water. So the warmest water is from December to, I would say, May. And then starting the summer months, or our North America summer months, the water starts gradually dipping in temperature. I have been in August, I have been in November, I have been in multiple months, and it doesn't really matter. You will still snorkel, you will still get in the water, you will still do the same exact itinerary, but you will wear wetsuits if you're uncomfortable with the water temperature, and those are provided and you don't need to worry about it on these luxury boats. Some boats charge for wetsuits, maybe $20 for a week, something like that. So that's something else to consider when looking into the details. We also provide your entry tickets, your ID cards, your flights to the Galapagos, all taxes, assistance in the Quito airport because you will be going through multiple steps. I call that Galapagos customs, where they even will check your shoes for seeds. So all of those little details, super important because that really elevates your experience. And if you're traveling with family, with parents, with children, with many people, you want to have that assistance because Quito Airport has lines upon lines and you want to be able to zip through them with our assistance. So that is the Infinity, and that is what the itinerary would look like. 3 nights in Quito, 7 nights in the Galapagos. Now I have some other options for you. So another option is the Sea Star cruise. The Sea Star is a 16-person yacht. And so it has 8 cabins on board, 16 maximum. And it's kind of a fun, really family-focused boat. And all the cabins are a little bit different. Some have balconies, some don't. So we can discuss that when we're choosing it. They do not have triple cabins unless you have children under the age of 12. And so then they would allow 3 people in a cabin. Otherwise, this particular trip for 3 adults would include 2 cabins again, just like the Infinity. But this particular date option that I'm sending you is 3 nights Quito and 5 nights cruise. So the cruise will be shorter, but still a really fabulous itinerary, lots of islands to visit. This is the idea of the boat is indoor and outdoor space. It has a hot tub on top, just like the Infinity, but on a smaller scale. It's first class, not luxury. So maybe The sheets are not the same quality and the food is a little bit more humble, but wonderful, wonderful experience on the Sea Star. I send families on it all the time. Highly recommended. Wonderful crew on board, and they have those 5-night itineraries. So if that fits your dates, way to go. And now another option for you to consider is the Legend. I'm usually against large ships, especially in a highly protected area like the Galapagos, because 100 people sounds very overwhelming to me, but I have cruised on a large ship like this, and the 100 people will be split into groups of 16 with individual guides. So not everyone's going out at the same time. So the itinerary is a little bit different. It is 7 nights, just like the Infinity. So it's a long cruise, and the ship has a lot on board. They have, they have a library. They have, if you're bringing children, they have a playroom. They have lots of guides, so lots of entertainment, and they'll do kind of all kinds of different things, maybe similar to a larger ship where they want to entertain 100 people while others are on tours. Because remember, only 16 people are ever allowed with a guide at a site. So we take turns going to the beach. We take turns going to different colonies. And while the rest of the boat waits, maybe they can go on a glass bottom boat, which is available. Kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, things like that are on board so that you can be entertained. Kayaks and stand-up paddleboards are also on the luxury Infinity as well. So the Legend has really nice cabins. If we have 3 adults even, they have quadruple and triple cabins. So this is nice if there's a budget involved, if you want to be together, maybe 3 friends or 2 parents and an adult child. They allow that in the balcony cabins, which is the first one here. They would just put a 3rd bed in there. But if you want to have 2 separate cabins, we have double balcony and a single standard plus, which has portholes. There is also balcony cabins for singles as well, if you'd like that as well. So it would look like 3 nights Quito, followed by 7 nights in the islands. Here's an idea of what the ship looks like. It's quite big, and they have pengas that will take you to the islands. And their 7-night itinerary is quite interesting for these days because it goes north and south. Usually you don't see that. You usually see either north or south. So it's a fast ship. It gets a lot done in their 7 nights. And even though it has 100 people, you will only have your little pod of 16 that you will do all your excursions with. So it never feels like you're traveling with 100. It feels like you're traveling with 16. And so you will see a lot more languages on this ship. So I don't know if that's a pro or a con, but if there's maybe a lot of tourists from Germany, they will group them together. Spanish speaking, group them together. In English, which is the majority of visitors to the Galapagos, they will be split in groups of 16. So lots of options here. Let me know if you have questions. I can show you, of course, details of each boat. I just didn't want to overwhelm you with too much information, but talking through the options is always a good idea. My 4th one is a catamaran, and also that it's a 6-night. So I wanted to show you, you can have 6 nights, you can have 7 nights, you can have 5 nights. There are shorter ones, but I don't recommend it. I mean, you're traveling all the way to the Galapagos. You want to have at least 5 nights, I think. But if you need it based on dates or budgets, we can surely look at a 4-night as well. I've done 4 nights and it works well, but I just think they are better if longer. You get to see more sight. So the Seaman is a catamaran, which is very popular in the Galapagos, and I want to show you a picture of it. All the catamarans look like this. There's probably 15 of them at least in the islands. And the catamarans are very popular for people who are worried a little bit about motion sickness because the double hulls, and we even have a 1 trimaran with triple hulls, it makes the boat much more stable. The cabins are all square on the side of the boat. There's 8 cabins, 16 people maximum, great itinerary, fast. The catamarans cut through those waves and travel quite quickly. And this particular trip, the 6-night trip, I believe now. Yeah, 6-night trip, travels all around Isabela. So these are the most remote places in the Galapagos. So if you're looking for something like lots of volcano activity, lots of penguin activity, this is the island. This is the itinerary for you. Of course, like I said, itineraries change all the time, but this roundabout does happen each time. So those are your just ideas of boats: large boats, small boats, luxury boats, mid-size or mid-class boats. That's how many options you have there. Of course, let me stop sharing that. Just let me tell you that the last option that you have is skip cruise. and do island hopping, which means staying in a hotel on an island and doing day tours to different sites. Pros of that is that you will be in a hotel. You will have perhaps a pool. You will go have sunset on the beach. You can have pizza with your kids in the little village in Santa Cruz, San Cristobal, or Isabela. There are three villages. So a lot of people like that flexibility, like that kind of freedom to make the trip their own. One con of doing island hopping versus cruise is that a cruise will go to 2 or 3 sites per day. It's a busy itinerary, so that's sometimes a con for people. But if you're trying to see as much as possible, then island hopping will really be busy of going back and forth. So keep that in mind. Last idea, combining a 4-night cruise with some island hopping. That always is a popular option for families because you get a lot done in 4 nights on the cruise, and then you relax by the pool on the beach, go snorkeling, hang out with the locals at a relaxing hotel at the end. So more than happy to show you all my favorite options, all my glamping options and things like that. Just let me know what works and what doesn't. Thank you so much for listening and happy travels.